Linguistic versus traditional grammar. So the lucky boys, it's an English phrase in which words have come into a certain order. But if we have this order of the words, boys the lucky boys the, we know that these two examples are not correct examples of a noun phrase. Why? Because in English noun phrase, we must have an article, adjective, and a noun. So this order is very important for a noun phrase. So the process of describing the structure of phrases and sentences in such a way that we account for all the grammatical sequences in a language and rule out all the ungrammatical sequences in one way of defining grammar. So when we discuss the sequences of phrases or clauses, and we can tell that which phrases are correct and which phrases are incorrect. So this is how we can define grammar of a language. Traditional grammar, the terms article, adjective, and nouns that we use to label the grammatical categories come from traditional grammar. So we have used the word article, adjective, and noun. These grammatical categories have been transferred to us by languages such as Latin and Greek, because these two languages have a lot of influence, grammatical influence on English language. So terms such as adjective and nouns are used to label forms in the language as the parts of speech or word class. So to these grammatical categories we say parts of speech or word class. So we have noun, adjective, adverb, verb, preposition, conjunction, interjection. We have 8 parts of speech according to the traditional grammar. Basic definitions of this type are useful for identifying most forms in a language such as English, but they are not completely reliable. So using these categories, we can describe English language to a great extent, but not completely. Why? Because there are certain things which are not reliable. There are certain grammatical categories which cannot be described using the same categories. So a noun can be defined as a form that comes after an article, and for example a or the, and can take inflections for possessive, for example an apostrophe s. We can say a girl's bag, and plural we can add s. We can use these with nouns, but we cannot use the same rule to every noun found in English language. For example, we know that the nouns such as information cannot have a plural s. Why? Because this is not used as a plural noun, right? So similarly, in some cases we use of for possession instead of an apostrophe. So traditional grammatical analysis has also given us a number of other categories, including number, singular and plural, which is very important because we have to agree verb with its subject or with its noun on the basis of number. Person, first person, second person, third person, tense, time and tense we have to discuss. Sentences with reference to the time of the action, which we discuss under this very heading. Tense, voice, we again discuss how the verb was treated with reference to subject or object. And gender, for example in English we have masculine gender, feminine gender, common gender, and neuter gender. In different languages the very gender is treated differently. So the traditional grammar help us to some extent. It gives us certain grammatical categories to analyze language, but when we apply the modern rules of linguistics, we have to coin certain other categories to understand language in a different scientific way.